Some drawings were never meant to look this real. In 2018, a Canadian artist started posting cursed photographs online. Grainy, weathered, impossible to place. People swore they were sightings. Some still do. Since then, his creatures have spread across Reddit, TikTok, and 4chan. A thing built from static, a cartoon that shouldn't exist, a shape under a bridge that isn't what it looks like. These are his 6 most terrifying creations. Siren Head. A hiker stands alone in the woods, listening to an emergency broadcast tone. There are no roads here, no radio towers, and no logical source for the sound. Then, the tree line shifts. Something massive, nearly 40 feet tall, rises above the canopy on a skeletal, wood-colored trunk of a body. In August 2018, artist Trevor Henderson, posting as at Slimy Swamp Ghost, introduced this towering entity. Henderson conceived Siren Head not as a simple physical monster, but as the manifestation of something too vast for human minds to fully comprehend. Because of this, what witnesses see varies, though most report twin rusted speaker horns where a head should be, sometimes revealing teeth hidden behind the metal. The creature's behavior is predatory and deceptive. It can remain completely motionless for hours, mimicking trees before closing distance in seconds. Its speakers broadcast static emergency alerts or even voices and songs pulled directly from its victims' memories. On Reddit, this single image birthed mock field accounts and encounter reports, transforming digital art into modern folklore. But in Henderson's canon, the survival rule is absolute. If you hear a familiar voice calling from the dark woods, never walk toward the broadcast. Cartoon cat. A woman walks down a deserted street at night when a rubbery, pitch-perfect cartoon bowing echoes through the damp air. Under a flickering streetlight stands a pitch-black figure modeled after a 1930s cartoon mascot wearing stark white gloves. But the childhood nostalgia instantly curdles. The vintage black and white texture feels entirely wrong the moment the limbs stop moving like a playful animation and begin to stretch and glide like an active predator. First appearing in August 2018, with further sightings documented on August 10th, Cartoon Cat is explicitly ranked by Trevor Henderson as the most evil entity he has ever created. Henderson describes it as an ancient hostile force inhabiting an abandoned, discarded mascot shell, like a threadbare costume. Its face constantly rearranges itself, warping anywhere from 2 eyes to 5, with no stable logic governing how it presents. While online communities spread theories that the beast can slip out of physical photographs or paper drawings to enter our world, this remains unverified community speculation only. On TikTok, creators loop the creature's signature rubbery sound cue and elastic silhouette, transforming the vintage grin into short-form digital folklore. If you ever hear that cheerful cartoon bounce echoing in the dark, remember the absolute rule of survival: never follow the sound. Country road creature. At midnight on an isolated backcountry road, car headlights catch a pale shape moving in the ditch. The speedometer reads 60 miles an hour, yet the silhouette is keeping pace, then gaining. First shared online by illustrator Matthew A. Mullins in December 2022, this entity possesses a stretched, badly jointed frame. Unverified community accounts claim the beast stands over 20 feet tall when fully upright, though it typically pursues its targets on all fours. Its most jarring feature is a nearly human old man face, fixed with pale, gleaming eyes and an absolute lack of expression. Long, bony digits and a highly flexible skeletal structure allow it to transition between an upright stride and a low, quadrupedal sprint without losing momentum. While online speculation suggests the creature can mimic human voices to lure stranded drivers out of stalled vehicles, this remains an unconfirmed fan myth, with the artist's original notes leaving its true capabilities a mystery. If you ever see a pale, expressionless face keeping pace with your car in the dark, remember the absolute rule of survival: never slow down. Bridgeworm. Rain pours down on a highway overpass at night. A photographer ducks beneath the concrete structure for shelter, pointing a camera into the damp shadows. In the corner, A pale, flesh-colored mass lies motionless, appearing to sleep peacefully. This entity, introduced by Trevor Henderson on August 14, 2019, thrives on being mistaken for something harmless. What looks like a resting face is merely a decoy, a loose, semi-transparent flap of skin with closed eye slits and a slight mouth, but this mask can peel straight back like an eyelid, flattening against the forehead to reveal the true face beneath. Hidden inside is a grotesque maw crowded with nearly 36 human-like teeth and mismatched rolling eyes. To drag prey into the dark, it uses bone-fingered arms stretching 9 feet long, assisted by a secondary pair folded flat against its back. The original image is linked to an abandoned tunnel account, and the photographer's safe return was never confirmed. If you ever take shelter under a concrete overpass and notice a pale, silent form resting in the dark, remember the absolute rule of survival. Never approach something that looks like it is sleeping under a bridge. The Fetid King. An unexplained file called kingbirth.jpg appears overnight on a computer screen. A reverse image search yields no results, only a corrupted, duplicating loop of the same pale shape, accompanied by a warning text about a sovereign and those who profane his name. In Henderson's canon, this entity is a skeletal figure with 17 visible ribs, bone eyelids permanently forced open, and an uneven wooden crown. When asked about its nature, Henderson offered just 3 words: infinite skeleton everywhere. Unlike physical beasts, this creature behaves like a digital pathogen, mutating and replicating across networks. In 4chan image board threads, users spread the file's self-copying behavior as virtual folklore, though the tales of cultish chanting remain purely fan-made interpretations. Once the file corrupts a device, deletion is useless. If you ever find an unknown file on your desktop, remember the absolute rule of survival: never reverse search an image you were not looking for. Which of Trevor Henderson's nightmares should we dissect in part 2? Leave a comment below with your choice, whether it is the looming giants or the silent smile room. Long Horse. A camper hears a slow, rhythmic knuckle cracking echoing from the high canopy. Looking up, they watch an impossible, leather-skinned neck unfold above the pines, stretching endlessly until it ends in a bleached horse skull, first appearing on Instagram on October 6, 2018. This entity is completely harmless. Trevor Henderson describes it as a needle threading between the layers of reality. It possesses a waxy, pliable hide capable of generating new joints as its neck extends, draped with the dark, patchy remnants of a mane. A distinct scent of sweet cinnamon always precedes its arrival, offering a sensory footprint to its appearance. Longhorse does not hunt. Instead, it serves as an omen, warning humans of looming disasters. While online rumors speculate that the creature is depicted in prehistoric cave paintings, this remains unverified fan mythology. In Henderson's true canon, the real terror comes from the threat its presence signals. If you ever smell cinnamon in the dark woods and hear a dry cracking in the branches, remember the absolute rule of survival. Never assume the warning is the worst part of the night. The digital veil is dangerously thin. These monsters thrive because we keep looking, transforming pixelated folklore into our newest very real nightmares. Part 2 is lurking in the dark. Which creature should we drag into the light next? Let us know in the comments.